So we are in Unit 3 and we are learning about the American civilizations. And in Chapter 6, it's about the Mesoamerican region. And in Chapter 6, under Section 2, we are learning about the Maya. And today, specifically, we will talk about the legacy of the Maya. And that is in Lesson 2.4, that is Section 2, Lesson 4, and that is in pages 162 to 163. Go ahead, have your textbooks ready or log into our Loda USD website and from there launch Clever. And from Clever, you will see on the left side Cengage Learning, which is the National Geographic Learning. From the left side, Unit 3, Chapter 6, Section 2, Lesson 4. And again, it is in pages 162 to 163. This chapter's essential question is, how did Mesoamerican civilizations, these are the Olmecs, Zapotec, now we are learning about the Maya, and then later about the Aztecs, adopt and adapt the cultures of earlier civilizations. So the objective of this lesson is to describe the important advances the Maya made in mathematics, astronomy, and writing. Although the Maya learned about their past through oral tradition, they made a decent amount of writing, but unfortunately, most of these writings were destroyed by the conquistadors. And as we have learned from our previous lessons, the conquistadors are from Europe and predominantly Spaniards. Well, the word conquistador is Hispanic. This is actually more of a summary of the lesson about the rise of the Maya. So the Maya left a great legacy in mathematics and science, and in this lesson we will, try to understand the number system and the accuracy of the observation made by the Maya astronomers. Just like most of our lessons, this lesson is divided into two parts. The first part is about math and astronomy, and the second part is about the writing system, and obviously related to writing are the books that they've written. Like the ancient people of India, the Maya developed the concept of zero. And this is very important in creating a sophisticated, complex numerical system by using positions to show the value and to calculate the sums up to hundreds of millions. This is the same calculations that they used in astronomical observations as well. So this impressive mathematical skills was also applied in astronomy. So as they observed the sun, the moon, the heavenly bodies, they were able to use these mathematical skills in calculating the time and season of the year. And because of this, it greatly helped them in their planting of their crops, in predicting even disasters such as earthquakes and typhoons or any natural calamities. Because of their mathematical skills and astronomical observations, they were able to develop an elaborate 365-day calendar, which is as accurate as our own modern-day calendar. And if you can still remember, in Lesson 2.3, William Saturno uncovered Sultan. So these mathematical calculations on the wall, the murals, were probably used to work out dates in the calendar. So it is not just a piece of art. The mural is not just a piece of art, but also some sort of scientific record. Now that is very impressive. Now let's take a look at the foundation of math. So numbers. Let's take a look at the Maya number system. So as you can see, 0 is represented by an egg-shaped or football-shaped figure. 1 will be a dot. 2 obviously will be 2 dots. And 5 is a bar, like a stick. And then if you will add a dot and a stick, a line, it will create 6. So if you will combine 2 bars, 2 lines, then that is 10. Now that is a very simple numerical system, which is a very good system, because if the numerical system is so complicated and so hard to learn, then it will be unimaginable to do any mathematical calculations. So the Maya did a very impressive job in simplifying a numerical system which helped them, learn math a little bit easier compared to other civilizations. Okay, now let's talk about the writing system and obviously about books. So the Maya used symbolic pictures called glyphs to represent words, syllables, and sounds that could be combined into complex sentences. So the Maya carved glyphs into their monuments, stelae, and tombs. So their writers are called scribers. Well, not just the Maya writers. In ancient world, the writers are called scribes. They use them to record their people's history in folded book made of tree bark called a codex, like this one that you are seeing in your screen. So the Maya wrote other books in which they recorded Maya history and culture. So the most famous of his books is called the Popol Vuh, which recounts the Maya creation story. It is a lot like the Genesis from, the Bible. So that is the Judeo-Christian Bible. So as you have learned, the Maya civilization declined around 900 AD. However, because of oral tradition, and oral tradition is passing down the stories of the past verbally through storytelling. The Maya people today, because of this, still keep their culture alive. So many of people in the area, in Mesoamerican area region, sometimes parts of Mexico and Guatemala, many of them still speak the language and tell their ancestor stories, and they are the living legacy of the Maya civilization. And that is very important, the preservation of the Maya identity. Any identity of a specific unique culture, it is always, not almost, it is always important to preserve this identity, because this will remind us of the things that happened in the past, the things that we need to learn, the things that we need to improve, and the good things that we need to continue. That is the purpose of that. Now let's go to the review and assess, the most anticipated part of this lesson. Number 1, reading check. What important mathematical ideas did the Maya develop? The concepts that they developed in math. Number 2, identify main ideas and details. According to the text, why did the Maya astronomers study the sun, the moon, planets, and the stars, the heavenly bodies? By the way, the sun is a star. I know that. Okay, before you bash me. Number 3, ask questions. You need to write a question. Frame a question about Maya culture that can be answered by historical research. So you need to write a question about them. Okay, now let's go to our Google Classroom and go ahead, open the review and assess assignment, and the last slide, lesson 2.4. You need to write down your responses to those questions and instruction. Fill in with your last name, first name, date. Don't forget to do that. I consider that in giving you points. And the definition of the key vocab, obviously the title of the lesson, and if you want to get a full credit, correct answers using your own words and complete sentences. So those are the things that you need to do in order to get a full credit. Now go ahead, answer these questions, and turn it in once you've completed this assignment. And that is our lesson for today, Chapter 6, Section 2.4, Legacy of the Maya.